Hello once again, my fellow Star Trek fans. Welcome to another video. Today's going to be a really fun video. We're going to talk about Star Trek, but in particular, we're going to talk about the Romulans. I got a couple of kits to show you. I'm going to be showing you guys the Romulan bird of prey. And we're going to do the first one, the first issue, and I'm going to show you the latest issue. Of course, the Romulans were introduced to us in the Star Trek The Original Series episode Balance of Terror. And we were introduced to Mark Lenard. Mark Lenard was actually the first actor on Star Trek to portray three different characters. He was the Romulan commander. He's also Ambassador Sarek, Mr. Spock's father. And in Star Trek The Motion Picture, he was the Klingon commander we saw in the opening of the film. So he's, as far as I know, he's the only one to play three different races. But today we're going to talk about the Romulan ship when he was the Romulan commander, and we'll talk about Balance of Terror. So let me put you guys on a tripod so it'll be easier to show you the model kits. All right, first up, let me show you guys the original release. This is the AMT kit, the Star Trek Romulan Bird of Prey. And this is from 1975. And you can see on the bottom, giant bird of prey decal included. And of course, like I always do, I'll give you guys descriptions and I'll put up the instructions and you'll see the parts and all that stuff. All that fun Star Trek stuff. And on the cover, you can see the Romulan ship. And there are two other Romulan warbirds. Or excuse me, birds of prey, and we've got the Enterprise. So, here's what's going on. We see the Enterprise, and they're headed to the neutral zone because there's been attacks on the outposts between the Federation and Romulan space. They get a little bit of history. Mr. Spock talks about the treaty that was signed between the Romulans and the Federation that had been done years ago, I think 50 years. And they come to find out that there's reason to believe that it's the Romulans that attacked the outposts. We're introduced to the Romulan commander, Mark Lenard, and we're introduced, actually, we see the ship for the first time when the Enterprise is actually speaking to the outpost. They switch the camera to their visual camera, what they have on screen, and they show the ship, fire the plasma weapon, and then it's destroyed. So the Enterprise puts an intercept course in, and they hunt down the Romulan ship. At first, they were just at the edge of range, and what they're doing is they're actually shadowing the ship to keep track of what it's going to be doing. The Romulans are aware that they're being tracked, so then they have a chess match, like a cat and mouse game, between the Romulan commander and Captain Kirk. Ultimately, the Romulan ship gets disabled by the Enterprise, and rather than rather than being captured, they destroy the ship themselves, kind of like they scuttled their own ship to avoid capture. But this was the Praetor's flagship. It was the new ship, the new Romulan bird of prey. I keep wanting to say warbird, but this is the bird of prey. And this was introduced in Balance of Terror. It was a pretty good episode. The lighting is really awesome in that episode. The way the characters are lit, they have that. It's like the way the lights are reflecting on them. You really see the characters in a softer light. It's really a cool episode. It's a great episode. And this is the first model kit. This is the first edition. There was no long box for this kit. So looking at the box, like I said, this is the first release, 1975. You can see the front, the AMT with the Star Trek logo, and we see the Enterprise racing across the top of the box. Unassembled hobby kit. On the bottom, again, you can see 1975 Paramount. And giant bird of prey decal included. Taking a look at the end of the box, This is kit number S957. You can see the same illustration that's on the front of the box. And both ends of the box are the same. And this one, check it out, price tag from Sears. And Sears, I don't know if you guys are aware, aren't even an entity anymore, at least not the stores. Looking at the side of the box, you can see, this is pretty cool. This is always fun when you get models because you can look and see what else you're going to get. Now I do have the long box version of the S951, the Enterprise. I recently showed you the space exploration set, and I got that long box as well. I've shown you the shuttlecraft, and that's in the long box. And I've shown you the Klingon D7. As a matter of fact, the Klingon D7 is going to be fun because I was able to get one. It's still in its plastic wrap, but it must have been damp at one time because there's a little bit of mold on the inside of the box. So I figured we can go ahead, we'll do an unboxing, and I'll show you what exactly was in that kit. So that's going to be really fun. And then they have the interplanetary UFO. And I don't really know a whole lot about that kit. But these are exciting. AMT, Star Trek, and other space kits are available at your favorite hobby center. Fun to assemble hobby kit for modelers 8 years through adult. I can show you there's nothing on the back of these. I'm showing you the other side. We've got that awesome special Star Trek jacket offer. And this is AMT Corporation, 1225 East Maple Road, Troy, Michigan, 48084, USA. It says paint and cement not included. And we got a cool kind of blueprint of the bird of prey. And this one actually has a display stand. It's different than the display stand for the Enterprise and from the Klingon D7. We'll get to that when I show you the instructions and parts of the ship and the pieces. And we have a little bit of information for the Romulan and their warbird. The Romulan ship, painted like a giant bird of prey, was introduced to Star Trek viewers on the Balance of Terror episode during the series' first season. The Romulans, an offshoot of the Vulcan race, were allied with the ruthless Klingons against the Federation of Planets. Campaigned by Captain Kirk's USS Enterprise, after an inconclusive war between the bad guys of the Star Empire and the Federation's good guys, a peace treaty was negotiated and a neutral zone established between the two combatants. The treaty remained unbroken except for one major incident depicted in Balance of Terror. The Romulan ship was armed with the plasma energy weapon, which rendered all defense useless. Its effectiveness was limited only by its relatively short range. The ship was capable of becoming invisible by means of the cloaking device, which was subsequently captured. You remember they caught the cloaking device in the Enterprise incident, where Captain Kirk was surgically altered to look like a Centurion, went over and took the cloaking device, and it was so cool when the Enterprise goes into cloak. Sorry, I was having a hard time reading it because of the way the plastic is. So this is the original release. And what's interesting about this model kit, there are not terribly a lot of pieces, there are not that many. We have basically the body section in two halves. And we've got two halves on either of the nacelle pylons, and we have two halves for the nacelles themselves, for the warp drive. Then we have the Sard collectors and the end caps. And there's a fin that goes on top of the ship. And the decal is pretty large. You get that really cool looking bird of prey. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. A Romulan eagle, or I don't really know. I don't know if it's ever been said what this bird actually is, but it's got to be something obviously from Romulus, a species on that planet. This one does have a stand, and as well as the decals that go underneath, there is some of the feathers that goes on top of the ship as well. And this would be a fun kit to get and light. This one you can't light. because the Bassard collectors are solid, so it wouldn't really be able to light this one unless you got an aftermarket with this. But this is the original release. This was 1975. So let me show you guys the most recent release. Now, I touched on this briefly when I had shown you guys the iconic model ships from AMT. And this is the collector tin version. So I showed you the Enterprise, the Klingon D7 battlecruiser, and the Romulan bird of prey. And this is the latest release. It's in the collector tin, and it's got the bonus box art print included. And this is the collector edition Romulan bird of prey featuring retro style packaging. And you can see we've got the same illustration on the box as we did on the original. Let me show you guys. We got the original and the latest release. I love it when they reissue the original box art. Again, this is AMT. Round 2 had reissued this. The words Star Trek are embossed, but the only one that I have where the ship is actually embossed is the Enterprise. This one is not embossed. And you can see again the illustration of the other warbirds as they engage the Enterprise. This is the bird of prey plastic model kit, Romulan. And this one doesn't have anything on the back. You can see the item number. AMT 666, it's kind of an odd number. This was released on October 28th of 2010, so this is 2010 release date. Looking at the side of the box, they have something on this that's not on the original. We can see the Romulan commander, Mark Leonard, introduced to Star Trek. It's got the features over 13 inches wide with clear parts, decal sheet, and base with metal support rod, and that's a lot different than the base that was included in the original kit. Round 2, you can see, South Bend, Indiana, cement, not included with kit. And we got the depiction again, and we've got the Star Trek Romulan bird of prey. So they kind of went with the retro boxing for the first issue of the S951 with the Enterprise in the long box. The tall box, the first issue. And you can see on the side of the box, we got AMT 666, Star Trek, Romulan bird of prey plastic model kit. Again, we've got that illustration. And both ends of the box are the same. Let's see, let's check out the other side. Did I show this? You can see AMT, Star Trek. Again, we got Mark Leonard. A cool picture of the Romulan commander. Again, the illustration. And we have the trademark information, round 2 models, StarTrek.com. And this is a skill level of 2. And this is a 2010 release. But I don't know about you guys, but I love the retro box art, and I love the tin issues in the tin collector case. Let's see, this one makes, let's see, I have the original Enterprise, the original box art release in the collector tin. I've got the Klingon D7 in the collector tin. We've got the Romulan bird of prey in the collector tin. Let's see, I've got the Star Trek Deep Space K7 space station in the collector tin as well. Is that everything with the collector tins? I do have one thing from Polar Lights. Let me get this. I gotta show you guys this. This was a retro lunchbox from the 60s, and Polar Lights actually issued the 1/1000 scale model kit, and they put it in the retro lunchbox, and I saw that. Of course, I had to get it. This is the USS Enterprise, and it's all plastic assembly snap together kit. Bonus collector sticker. And this is a skill level of 2. You can see they've got the different artwork for the different ships. We've got the Klingon D7, the Enterprise from the original tall box release. the original release of this that I had shown you. And they've got the Mr. Spock. I don't have that model kit yet, but maybe someday. And this is what shows the finished production version. We've got the first and second pilot production version, and we includes the bonus stickers. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. And this is actually the one that I used when I had made the USS Constellation. It was this model kit, the 1/1000 scale. So this is a little fun little thing with the retro lunchbox. This 1/1000 scale snapped together model kit of the USS Enterprise features authentic styling and accurate detail, and includes optional parts to build all 3 television versions of the USS Enterprise NCC 1701. You can choose from the first pilot version, the second pilot version, and the series production version. This kit includes over 50 plastic parts, decal sheet, and detailed instructions. Fully assembled kit measures approximately 11.5 inches long and just has the included display base. And this is the support rod with the little half dome at the bottom. And let's see, there are release date on here. You can see StarTrek.com, round 2 models. And this is a 2012 release date. And this is POL 88906. Again, this will be a video on itself, but I just wanted to show you guys the different tins that I have. This is the different one. That's the only other collector tin that I have. The rest are in what would be the tall box, or the original release. And what I like about this release is we actually get to see the Romulan commander on it. There are things I like better about this, and there are things that I like better about the original. For instance, the original, let me get the box, actually gives a description on the Romulan bird of prey. And it has the little blueprint, whereas we don't really have that on this side. We've got the Romulan commander, the features, and the illustration, and the same thing on the other side. But with the original release, we've got the description, and of course the description is fun. And we've got the jacket offer, and we have the other exciting models from AMT. So the wonderful world of Star Trek through AMT. So my friends, I know this is a quick little video, but I wanted to show you the original release, and I wanted to show you the latest release of this pretty spectacular model kit. And if you're watching this video, you're probably a Star Trek fan. And if you're not a Star Trek fan and you were just curious, I implore you, go watch the episode Balance of Terror. It's one of the best produced episodes of Star Trek, in my opinion. The lighting, the characters, the effects, just great all-around episode. So my friends, I'd like to thank you for watching, and until my next video, Star Trek, or whatever the subject, I'll see you very soon. Take care.